Hey guys, you already know who this is. Your girl Whitney for Whitney Escapes, and today we're going to have our book discussion with the one and only author Asia. I think I'm saying it right because AJA. If I'm wrong, y'all know. Don't hold that against me. So, for no further ado, please bring her on. Did I say it right?
Mm-mm.
Aja?
It's Aja.
Oh, it is Aja. I was like, I said
Mhm.
Asia, Aja. So Aja,
It's hard
y'all.
for a lot of people
With an
because there are a lot of Asias that spell their name like mine. So I forgive you. It's like not a big deal, but it's Aja.
I was like, that's why I said that. I said I could be saying it wrong, but my community know I be messing up names, but I be knowing the story. I be know who's in it, what's going
That's
on.
all about it, girl.
So thank you so much for coming on here on your Sunday. We do appreciate you. And
Thank you for
thank you so
having
much.
me.
Oh, girl, I'm so happy. I do have one complaint. I'm starting off with my complaints. So I can get it out the way.
Okay, I'm ready.
My complaint is I wish this book was longer, girl. I was like, yes, it's a 5 book series. I already got all the books. And I was like, I just read the first page of the new book because I was like, is this gonna be a book two for her? But I said epilogue, I said, oh my gosh, it's probably gonna be about someone else. And I know we still gonna hear about her, but I just wish they story was longer. Y'all know I love thick books. I'm invested, so you know I'm gonna read the whole series. But that's my only complaint.
I get it. Can I explain?
hmm
Okay. You said, I like to hear. Well, this is the thing. It's like every writer, when they look back at their stories, like their backlists, there's like there are stories that you wish you could do over, maybe possibly if you knew what you know now, like how would you have done that?
hmm
The story of me is I was really like a short story writer when I first started out.
Yeah.
And even when I started to write my novels, they were always novella. And it was at a time when no one was really writing novellas, honestly. And I would always feel kind of like I wasn't being a good writer because I was getting right to the point and I didn't have a lot of fluffy words, but I was telling a story. Like, this is how the story came to me. She's Got Soul was the first time I attempted to write a series that was not just interconnected stories, but like truly a series where you're going to see the same people throughout, even though different couples will have their own spotlight. So I really didn't know what the heck I was doing. I'm be honest with you. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't There are so many things that like looking back, I'm like, I would have done it this way if I would have had the experience that I have now. But I wouldn't change anything about it still because that's my story. Like I told a story, but it's part of my author story. Like so I'm like
Mhm.
telling you, like I was an inexperienced serious series writer. I was an inexperienced writer really. I did not anticipate She's Got Soul being so popular,
It's
like being my best selling book. Like I didn't know. And actually it didn't start like that. Like it was slow, girl. Oh, it was slow. It took so long just to get to 50 reviews. And it was probably May of the following year. Was invited to a book club, like to be the book of the month for a book club, and it was She's Got Soul. And it just so happened a lot of things lined up. Uh, I got a book bub, through BookBub, a BookBub featured deal. So the book was free, and then I'm in this book club, and so there was a lot of talking about this story that May, and then it just blew up. I mean, like reviews, people started talking about it. At this point, I'm like trying to get the second book done. I was also a very slow writer. I was also a very slow. And so, yeah, it's just looking back, it's amazing that it can even be this story for me that I'm talking about because at the time, I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. I just thought it was going to be one of the like my pieces of art that a few people enjoyed, and that's it.
well, I
So
did
I'm
enjoy it.
sorry.
I, but you know what? I'm glad I said that first. Before we're gonna still introduce you into all that, but I'm glad because this is an inspiration to other writers out there. Like you evolve, you grow, but this is your story, this is your testimony, and then boom, still blows up, and it also is an advocate that you are a great writer. Because I could have been like, oh, this was just enough. I don't want no more. But because I want more, that also says that you did a great piece. I really enjoy it. I literally, when I saw it was 200 something, I'm like, I don't wait till Saturday to read this book because I'm be done with this book because I know I already got familiar with your work. So I'm like, I know I'm gonna like it because I read your other series and I enjoy them. So I'm like, it's gonna be a page turner. And so that's my biggest. I'm like, I just wish it was so much longer, but it was so good. But before we really get into it,
Okay.
please introduce yourself to the readers and viewers so they can know like a little bit more about you before I start talking because they know I get in it.
This is always the hardest part is introducing myself because I'm so shy. Oh my goodness, I'm shy. But I'm Aja and I write passionate fiction and women's fiction and romance and some erotica under a pen name. And I have probably about 45 or 46 stories currently and a couple more in the making. And what else am I supposed to be saying?
I don't know how long you've been writing because you missed 45 books deep.
Did you just say deep?
You said 45 books, right?
Okay, because that's my pen name is Deep. So that's why I was like, wait, you know
Look at me.
that? Okay.
I be knowing. See how the spirit works with me? Okay, let me write deep down so I can find. Wait, is that your erotica pen name?
Now listen, don't go that don't do it.
I'm not. I didn't
Okay.
know erotica.
Okay. All right, because I tell people all the time, like I think people like there are readers who love my voice and they think, okay, I can go to that side. Excuse
Mm-mm.
me. And it's gonna be okay. Like I keep telling them it's true erotica. That's why it's a pen name. It's
Mm-hmm.
not romance and erotica. It's like filthy. Don't go there thinking you're gonna get love.
Girl,
Um,
I got
yeah,
surprised. I
yeah.
had an
It's just,
author before and they gave us a book. And I was just like, I didn't know it was erotica. That was the
mm,
first time I was introduced to erotica. So she's like, yeah, read this book. I said, okay, I'll have you on. Pick a book. And I was like, I feel like all I was reading was porn. She's like, because it's erotica. I'm like, well, you should have told me erotica.
yeah,
I was so confused. I'm like, I was like, page one. I was like, whoop, this is the whole book. And I am a Aja fan. Like, I love the love. I love how they come together. I love the story. Everybody like, you should write, but I said no. I want to read everything. Every just because you're good at something, you want to do it. I want to read. I want to talk to the author. I want to enjoy every gift that God gave to them. So, girl, but y'all know if you're into eroticas, go look up off the
deep.
D and have
Mhm.
fun.
Straight up erotica though, because there's a lot of writers that's writing romance, and then they're putting it under erotica, and I do that as well because sometimes the themes in my story can really push. It's a
Mm-hmm.
way of explaining like this is not just spicy or sensual, it's nasty, but they're in love. You know what I mean? Like, so it's still a romance story. But I'm telling you, deep is not that. There's no love. It's straight up erotica. Don't go there if that's not what you want. Um, but yeah, I've been writing, I feel like my entire life. I mean, I really have. I wrote my first story in the first grade,
Ooh.
but it took many years for me to get back to writing creatively.
Mm-hmm.
And then years after that, before I decided to allow people to actually read what I was writing. And I started a blog, and blogs were a thing. I mean, like everybody had a blog if they were a writer and they wanted to communicate with anyone. And I had a blog, and I would post little things and encouragement and sometimes short stories. And I remember I shared it with the romance community at the time, and Beverly Jenkins read one of my little blogs, and she inboxes me and she's like, "Girl, why are you writing on the blog? Why are you writing a book?" And I had so many people telling me that I needed to just get out of my own way. But when she said it, it was like, okay, listen, this is your favorite author in the whole wide world. Like, she's telling you to write a book. So I really got serious about my craft and being more disciplined. And, that was the start. And here we are now, 45 books in.
And I'm happy because I'm enjoying it. I'm honestly enjoying your work. I love feel good love stories. I tell everybody the black romance novel. Everybody, what do you read? I said black romance novel. I have to be very specific when I say that. What black? I never heard about that because you ain't black.
Right.
But I like to tell them, well, what is it? What makes it different? I said culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's a culture. But I feel like when I read, it's like reading like the Hallmark Channel, but for black people. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not really, every time we have something that feels good, we get canceled. I don't know why. Y'all know why.
Yeah.
So I can pick up a book and just enjoy it. And one thing I do love about your work and several other authors' work is that it don't gotta be gang shoot. You know what I'm saying? It don't always
Mm-hmm.
gotta be that. And I'm like, I love when it's just normal people who
Mm-hmm.
out here, you know, finding love.
Right.
I love that. When I went to all the authors too, because I don't know if I haven't read all 45 books of yours, but I have read a couple of your series. And one thing I do want to ask, because this is what I ask everybody.
Okay.
No, this is all my personal stuff, y'all. Y'all know they already know. Like, do you have something in your catalog, or are you planning on writing something for people who are already in love, like a continue? That's why I love. That's one reason why I love series, because I'm a married woman. I've been with my husband for 20 years, and I be like, y'all act like we still don't want to, like, it's always, I love new love and I love young love. Those are my favorite books to read. But sometimes I want to read a book of someone who's already been in love. Maybe something happened and they back, don't mean they got
Mm-hmm.
divorced, but it's a real life book. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It happened in
Mm-hmm.
the series. Or they can meet, but it continues with, like, not just they have a baby, that's it. No, what happened? Not a baby 5, not a baby 15, but still
Right.
a story, not the kids' story, which I do love when they do spin off on the kids. But I said sometimes as a married person, you want to still read a
Mm-hmm.
book that represents your lifestyle, because I believe you're married too, because I think you had an anniversary recently.
Yeah. 22 years.
Because I remember saying happy anniversary to you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It was 22 years. I've been trying to keep track.
So you know
I
what I'm
feel like
talking
time
about.
is
You're right.
flying. So. I'm
So you
sorry.
know what I'm talking about. I was waiting because I saw you put your anniversary. I said, I'm gonna ask her when she comes.
Oh yeah, we had a wonderful time. Thank you.
Well, I love love, and I love black love.
Yeah.
Since you are a writer, is that something that you might do, or is it something you already have done that you need to tell me about so I can read it?
So I think it's funny that you said that, and we seem to have some parallels because you mentioned 20 years, and my husband and I are 22, and we have a son that's both 14, and I have a daughter. She's uh 19. She's in college now, and my husband is, I won't, I guess I can say he's my favorite person. There are several people that are like favorite people, but like he's my closest friend. I still like him a whole lot, not just love.
Yeah.
And our marriage has been not only beautiful, but it's been a development to my spirit. Like, when God gives you someone that is here specifically to help you realize who you are and who you're supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you're just kind of like wasting your time. And sometimes we waste our time with people.
Yeah.
But, it's a beautiful thing when you have someone who you're not wasting your time with, like you're really developing and you're becoming, and they're becoming as well. And then you have this joint mission. So it's funny that you say this because it's been on my heart to tell that type of story where it's a couple, and I've teased at that already through the soulmates,
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know. And you mentioned like my stories aren't like there, or and me and some others don't have to have like the bang bang stuff going on, but I do have some bang bang stuff, right? Did you know that? Okay, so I have some Bang Bang stuff, and it's on the other side of the Soulmate series. So
Okay.
if you make it through the entire Soulmate series, you know that Zora has an ex who is the father of
Or the
Zola
hot mess
again.
X. I can't wait to read
And
the story. I was gonna read it today, but I said I'm gonna be good because I finished the book yesterday. But well, let me think. I don't mind bang bang stuff. I just don't feel like all our writers, if we're successful, it don't always gotta be like that. I'm like, you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? I'm not an actor. I'm not a musician. My husband ain't gangbang, but we live a very good life. And I'm
Hmm.
like, we need to show that, even like for kids and stuff. Like, just because you don't have to just freaking be, a star to be successful, to travel, to do things. No, you just gotta work hard and make wise decisions. Keep God first, and He will lead and guide you to live. Like, even I work at a school part time. Most of y'all know that, and everybody be like, "Miss, you rich? Miss, you rich?" I'm like, "I'm not rich. I am comfortable. I
Mm,
work hard. I run a business. I come here and I still work. My husband work. We made wise decisions. We keep God first, but we are comfortable, and I don't take that for granted.
right.
Because
Right.
we wasn't always this comfortable.
Mhm.
We've been together since we were 19 years. That's a long time. We've been together
Yeah.
for a long time, so we had to build that. So I don't mind the thing about, like, that's not everybody's story.
Right. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that it that's the thing about I didn't even know that I would be writing a Bang Bang. I didn't know he was going to be a Bang Bang. Like I said, I don't be knowing what I'm doing. I truly just write from my heart, right? Like there's writers that go in and they have outlines and they they're writing from a trope. I don't like the first trope series of mine is the Lover series. That's the
Mm.
first series that I'm like writing to a trope. But any other time I'm writing, I'm just writing and you get what you get. And it's likely no trope involved. And so the series with Smoke, the Enigma series, and I'm bringing this up for a reason. It only comes from my wanting to heal Zora.
Mm.
And as I'm healing her, even before I get to her story, I know what I'm getting ready to do. I know that I need to introduce him as a person and I need to discover who he actually is
Mm-hmm.
in order to explain his absence, in order to explain the things that he's done to her. And once I did that, then I discovered this character that is now known Smoke, and then I'm telling his story, and that story just so happens to be on the other side of the coin. So it's the darker side of the coin. It explores themes that are darker, you know what I mean? But it's still he has like a code of ethics, and I don't want to get into it, but
Cause
it's
I gotta read it. I already down. I already got the books yesterday when I saw it was a 5 book series. I love. Everybody know I love me a good series, so I'll be reading that. Well, I'll be reading it tonight, tomorrow, because I can finish my schoolwork, y'all. You know what?
but these
I can
two
go back to school. Like, I,
oh
Lord Jesus, but I'm doing good. But Jesus, take the wheel sometimes.
I, you know what, I knew that there was a period of time that I wanted to go back to school, and then I changed my mind because I knew that I wasn't going to want to deal with the homework and stuff. So I truly admire people for their discipline. I think I'm just
Girl,
too
I need
flighty
to pray.
now.
Just pray for me when we get off of it. Just sit and pray for me.
I will. But what I wanted to say about Smoke and Zora is they find peace in their in with them. They find a certain peace, and there are opportunities to see them as exes working together for various reasons. And that was my introduction to having people who already are familiar with each other
Mm-hmm.
still deal with each other, okay, but not romantically. So they don't get back together. Zora has her man,
Yeah, the one she was
but
sleeping
she
off with. But I got a question. So Zora's book and then Smoke's, is Smoke a different book? I know it's 5 books.
right. So
Zora's
Zora
different.
is Soul Ties, and
Uh-huh.
then it goes into Smoke. Then
Oh,
there's Maestro. Then there's Slick. Then there's We Are One, and We Are One because everyone wanted to, and I was going to do it anyway, but everybody wanted to know, would Smoke meet his see his children, his daughters again.
Okay, we ain't talking no more about this because you're gonna y'all bet if y'all didn't read this book like you're supposed to, hard-headed people, you better read it because as you can see, it's going to be so juicy and delicious. I already downloaded it. I haven't read them yet, but I do have them up on a Kindle, and so y'all need to get it. So, woo, girl. But that means you're gonna write a book about people who's in a relationship.
I
And
am.
if it's a series, tell me when the series is over because I'm telling you right now.
It won't be a series, at least not. Which you'll see them in the Lover series.
Because my question is, when you write about this new couple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you the author who drops a book and then drop the next book the following month, or do we have to wait 500 years? Because that gets on my last nerve.
I have been both.
Right
okay.
Now.
I used to really, like I told you, I used to be really slow. And I just have gone through so many stages as a writer, sometimes fighting myself, lacking confidence in myself, trying to convince myself that the story is worthy of being told, and trying to figure out how to tell the stories. There's been so many factors that have gone into how slow it's been for me to produce, and also just family life. But lately, I would say in the last couple of years, that's not been the case. So you can rely upon me as long as I'm healthy to be producing at a regular speed. And if it's a series, maybe you get the next book within the 2 to 3 month mark. I think that there needs to be a period of time when I at least sit on it, just to make sure that I'm writing from my heart and I'm not just pushing something out to keep up, and I think that that's sometimes difficult, and depending on the depth of the storyline. I know the Enigma series, all of the books in the Enigma series, whether it's the origins, whether it's the OG stories, whether it's the Enigma Affairs that I just started with Siren, those books are a lot more intricate. It's a lot more world building. And so it takes me longer to get those out of me. And so that's the only thing I can say about those. But yeah, if it's a straight up contemporary romance, I'll be dropping it. Yeah.
And I don't mind for taking you time. I just tell all the authors, if you write a series and I'm interested in the series, so I try to go back and read all like authors that I have and enjoy them. But let me know when the series is done. And then I could go back and read it. Because I read all the time. So even though I have a great memory, I have to sit there and read like, okay, what happened? Okay, let me read the last 2 chapters so I can come back to my room. Instead of, it's a different experience. We could keep on going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why I tell author Monica where she had me reading this series. I said, girl, I'm about to have a heart attack. She said, girl, it took me years to write this. You read this in like a week. Of course your emotions going to be I said, that's a good point. That's a good point. But I didn't expect it to go all the ways it went.
Right.
But it's a different ride when you just read it. You know what I'm saying? Like you're kind of binge watching, but you're right there. And then instead of, you watch the series, you got to wait 5 years to remember, like, wait, what happened? And then in between, you're still reading that author's work.
Right.
So you have to, like, my mind, I'm like, I love reading, but I tell people, let me know when your series is done.
Well, I don't know how, like, at what point you started to really get into reading romance and fiction, and but there was a time when you really had to wait like a year for the next story. You know what I mean? Like that was it.
I'm not into reading. I have my whole thing on here. I used to not be an excellent reader in school and stuff like that because one of my teachers who happened to look like me, which is horrible. That's why I'm going back to school to be a teacher. Because I had a bad experience with a teacher who looked like me. Just because she did something wrong, my mom checked on it.
I said, that's amazing. Look at you.
Yeah, that's why I'm out of school right now. And everyone's like, you need to be a teacher. And I'm the only one who looks like me in this school.
Wow.
But there's a lot of kids who look like me in this school. So I'm like, you know what? It was just God put in my heart to go back. So I'm back in school to do what I'm doing. But I had a teacher in the 2nd grade when I'm supposed to learn the fundamentals. Did not teach me the fundamentals. I got tested in my freshman year in high school. They couldn't figure out how I'm in AP classes and failing English. Couldn't figure it out. She's like, she's passing her class. How she felt? The teacher couldn't figure out how it's going. Like, she knows it. She's very articulate. We don't know. Can we test her? Something. We're missing something. Found out I never got the fundamentals. So in my whole high school career, I didn't take in double Englishes every single year to catch up. So I was insecure about reading. And then one year, my baby girl, I think she was like 1, and I was finishing my culinary degree. And I've had this thing on my refrigerator that says successful people read every day. So my husband challenged me, hey, let's do a reading challenge. And I don't like losing. So I picked up the first book I read, besides as an adult, because the last book I read, literally I was a child, and it was the first book I ever finished, which I had on here, was The Skin I'm In. Ever. That's because I was going to a primary white school, and it was the only book that I felt like looked like me. The black on the cover. That was in 7th grade. And then I haven't really read like that. But my husband challenged me. I was like, shit, I'm about to read this. I'm about to read some books. And I picked up a book. I think it was How to Be Successful by Steve Harvey, if I'm not mistaken. I read that book in like 4 days. I was like, wait, hold on, wait. You read better than you think. Like, you know, you're subconscious when you have these things going on with you, even though you're way more developed. You did all these things. So even in college, I was getting good grades. I was always subconscious.
Right.
And then I just kept on reading. I kept on reading. I haven't stopped. So every day I read. I don't care what I'm doing. Everybody's like, how do you read so much? I don't watch TV. I have kids. I have a husband. I read, and I start getting into romance now because I used to read a lot of autobiographies. I'm like, I didn't want to read romances like that. Working at the library in my town, the only one who looked like me in there. And I said, we need to have some more black books. The director, she was like, whatever you want, we'll order them. And they did. And that's how I just started reading black novels. But I said, I want to read books from independent people. Because I own my own business, as you can see, Whitney's Escapes. And I only want to support people who I feel like are great, but the world doesn't know it. You know? Because it is a different tone working at the library for years, knowing that I could tell if they're really black, or they're African, or they're Haitian, or they're the illustrator is black, but the writer ain't black. I'm like, like, how do you know? I said, because there's a tone. You know, if somebody who look like you, who's been through, is writing this story, you can tell. And then, so that changed my whole perspective of reading an author. So I started researching independent black authors, and for the last 5, 6, well, how old am I doing now? She'll be 11. She was 1, so 10 years. I haven't stopped.
Wow. That's a wonderful story.
It's true. That's how I was good.
Yeah, but it's a wonderful story. It's amazing. You know, we all have stories. Like, that's why I say, like, even with, you know, She's Got Soul, or any of the stories that are like imperfect, and I look back, like, I have read some of my stories, you know, like, to get something out of it, like an excerpt, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I wrote that. Like, it seems terrible to me, but I don't mess with it. I leave it alone because that's my story. That's part of me. Like, and if you discover my work and my earlier years, you're discovering a younger writer with not as much experience, trying to find her way, you know, and hopefully you don't start there. But you know, it is what it is. It's like, this is just part of the journey of writing.
Exactly. But I'm glad you're saying that, because some people get a book. Maybe it was your first book, and now you're in 10 years. Hello, people grow and develop, so you can't be like, oh, I didn't like this book. Well, try another book. Or most authors who are independent, hit them up on one of your platforms. They will respond back to you.
Yeah.
Hey, I always hit up people when I first get there. Besides asking you what to pick a book, I always usually like, hey, what would you suggest me to read? You know what I mean? Or I go to a series, because I figure if you read in a series, you kind of get a better feel of the author than just reading an independent one. Or I'll ask the author, where should I start? I'm a new reader, blah, blah, blah. And then usually people will tell you. The author will respond to you. There's so many book things. I always ask people, what type of book do you like? So then I can tell you what book to read. Because
Right.
every author, like you said, tells story, but it's their story. It's like your personality, your life, however it came to you. So I'm glad you're
Mm,
expressing that, because a lot of people will read a book, oh, I don't like it, she's not good. Oh, when was that book? Like,
mhm.
ask, like you said, the journey that you went on. And the book
Right.
was still excellent to me. I enjoyed it. I just wish it was longer. But every month we even talk about the freaking book.
Yeah,
Look
let
at
me
us.
forget that.
Girl, I know I got my notes, but that's how you know the conversation is good. That's why this is called a book discussion. And y'all already know, when we get started, we get started. And I got my notes. I keep my notes on me. Even though I never follow them. I never follow them. I never follow my notes. But just in case, I like to have it on me. So we know that Aja is going to write us a story about
Mhm.
a couple who's already been a couple and still growing. And I love that because, like you said, I feel like my husband is my best friend, and my husband does get on my nerves, and my husband pushed me to be there. I tell anybody, my husband and my children pushed me to be the person I am today. I would not be this Whitney without them. Through
Mhm.
trials, through tribulation, through the happiness, through the. I said it's a roller coaster. You go up and down,
Right.
you go all the way around, but all those things pushes you to be better.
Mhm.
And know that no matter if I'm up, no matter I'm down, they still with me. No matter if they're up and down, I'm still with them.
Right.
Everybody want to be on a porch in the rocking chair, but nobody want to go through the
Mhm.
valleys and wherever, and it
There
doesn't
you
have
go.
to be cheating and stuff crazy. I realize I'm an
Mhm.
emotional person. So I know I have to regulate my emotion because I love hard. But
Mhm.
you gotta understand everybody's not me.
Mhm.
And like you said, it's a beautiful thing to know that you have somebody who has your best interest, even though I think you said this in your book. It's in this book that I just read. I feel like I just read this recently. I think when she got mad at him, but y'all should have read it, so I'm gonna talk about it before we go back. The girl was like, when they call into the podcast,
Mhm.
she was saying like, when you're in a relationship, you're being with somebody, even though you're mad, you still want to talk to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I felt that because sometimes you want to punch him in his face, but that's my person. But I still want
Right.
to. So I felt that because that's true. Even though
Mhm.
you don't want to be mad at them because you want to talk to them, but you don't want to talk to them because you're mad at them.
Mhm. Right.
I can start laughing. I'm like, that's such a true statement. When that's your
Mhm.
person, that you don't want to be mad at your person. You don't want your person
Mhm.
mad, but life happens. Like, ah. But when I read that, I was like, oh my god, that is so true. When she was mad at him and she couldn't be mad.
Mhm.
So let's get into this lovely story that should have been longer, but we have a great explanation. So I'm not going to hold it against her anymore.
Anymore. Well, thank you.
From Aja. This was so. I know you said it was one of your first books, but is there anything that inspired you to go this route, or because I'm gonna get into it after I ask you this question.
Excuse me. Um, it actually started with a blog,
Hmm.
and it's a blog that was on my website maybe 2 years before I told the story,
Okay.
and it was titled For Once. And no, it wasn't For Once. I'm sorry. I'm confusing two. It was a story and it was like a journal entry, and it actually might still be on my blog. It started as a journal entry, and it's the journal entry that starts She's Got Soul.
Hmm. Hashtag. I want to say that because it's in my notes. I love that she's writing in the journal.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm like, yes, write your thoughts on a journal. Talk about you want you a man. I love that whole thing, like being honest with herself. Even when she was on the podcast, she said, you know what? I do want somebody. I want to be. I love the vulnerability in the story. I love the honesty in the story. I loved how you put it all together with Zola when she started with her journal entry, then she's with her mom, so kind of got like a background of what's going on. Even her and with her mom, I love when she comes back to her mom, but in the beginning, how she was talking about her experience as a child with her mom. Because a lot
Mm,
of times we don't always know how our children experience us.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's not your intention. That's why I tell, like, me as an adult, I have a different relationship with both of my parents, because I told them I understand. Like, even if I did, I always tell people have compassion and gratitude, because when she finally had that conversation with her mom back in the story, since she had a man, she's like, "Oh, you were holding us all this time because you didn't want us to have a negative thought of our dad. But as a child, you're thinking, oh, she's having those days. She might want to, get rid of us." No, she's holding on all this resentment and pain, but she don't want to give any of that to you. But she don't know how to process it. So she's quiet. That's why God said, "Do not judge, even children." Sometimes people don't know how to process. I love that you did that, Aja. I really did, because people judge all the time, children, adults, and I was just like, this whole book was like, do not judge. I feel like
I
even
think it's the whole entire series is do not judge, because what I wanted to do, even though when I first started with She's Got Soul and it started with the journal entry, it was just about Zola. When I started to write, because I don't start with outlines usually, I might have a loose outline, but it won't be filled with all the characters
Mhm.
and I won't know all the details. And I just remember writing that first chapter where she's there with Zoe, and Zola is not Zola, Zora is on the couch, and it's like, I think it's the new moon
So,
dinner or whatever. And but when I first started to write that, there was no one else there. Like, I don't know where the sister, the niece, and the mother came from. It just came out. And I was like, okay, so she has a family. All right. And these women are special, and there's a dynamic here. And I had to tell every story in this, like I had to give all of them shine, because I was so interested and intrigued by them when I included them in the story.
mhm,
And I knew that this would be more than just a romance. It would be about a family of women. It was near and dear to my heart because I'm really close with my family. And the women in my family are very, very close. We're more matriarchal. I mean, there's men, there's husbands, but like, we're a very matriarchal family. My grandmother was like the rock. She's now gone. And she and my granddad had four girls. And so there's a lot of girls. But then I ended up being the only granddaughter. So I was the only granddaughter. And so that was an interesting experience. It made me like a favorite. And I was like the ham of the family. Anytime anyone was taking pictures, like I was all up in them, because I'm also an only child. So there's like, there's all these dynamics when it comes to
mhm,
me. And I wanted to kind of touch upon what it's like to be in such a women centered family. And that also comes with a lot of emotional baggage, good and bad.
mhm.
Not only do they have gifts, but they have stories, and they're not always getting along. And um Zora was not the perfect mother. And I knew that one day I wanted to tell her story, because everyone has a story. Everyone has one. You
Every
may not
woman,
like people, but like, they have a story.
even
And
her friends. Do you ever tell the friend story, like how they beef and come back together?
yeah, well, so you're talking about Danny and
Yes.
uh yeah, they have their own stories in the Sweet Spot shorts.
So we got, you
But
know,
you don't like short stories, so don't read them.
but now that I already know them, it's just like I was trying to figure out what happened. But
Yeah.
the story, like you said, you got the two girlfriends, you got the Zora, then you got the mom, the sister, the niece. Um, Everything about this book, like you said before, is very woman empowerment. Is very don't judge. Even with him, how he came about. He lost his parents. He was with his grandma. Now he got Ginger as his assistant, the older lady. Um, he used to be fat and chubby because his family died, and he got to fit. So everything, like, don't judge a book by its cover. Even when it was at the concert, and she thought, "Wait, am I?" He says, "No, you know." Like, oh my god, every scenario that you could like think of something else came from it, and
Yeah.
like, no, that's not where you're supposed to be going. I really, really did enjoy their story. I enjoyed how the guy Jax would have messed up in the beginning. So then he saw the podcast, listened to the podcast. Now he's intrigued.
Mm.
Like the whole, I guess everything fell together so perfectly. And I just love. I'm gonna tell you everything I want you to talk to me about because I know you got a time limit because you're gonna go see somebody that's not worth your time. But
We're not gonna go there. Don't talk about my Steelers.
I throw a little shade in it.
I was trying real hard to go over like you and them birds. Is it the what are they
I'm
with the
letting you go
Ravens?
over because you gotta watch your game, even though it's a good conversation. But I want to make sure we talk about all these little things. We are talking about family, the podcast, but just tell us, because I'm gonna tell you the things, the parts that I love that came out perfectly to me. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I just want to tell you these parts out of it. I love that, about the podcast. I love your group of friends, the drive-in, how it got hot and heavy on the first day. Then when they finally got to do it, you gotta talk about that. Then when she found out what he did and was pissed off, and in the hallway, like there's a lot of good stuff up in here.
Yeah.
Then Bali, I'm like, whoop.
Mm-hmm.
The concert, the boys' night, like even though things happen, I just love like this. I saw a clip today since I just thought about the boys' night and how he said he loved her and they only been together for 2 months. I saw a clip when the guy was like, "Yeah, I gotta wait 2 to 3 years." The guy was like, 2 to 3 years? You want a lady to wait for you 2 to 3 years?
Right.
Well, what is it? He's like, you need to know what you're looking for. You don't know what you're looking for someone to have to wait for you that long.
Mm-hmm.
He broke it down so good. I liked his thing. And I usually don't be on social media, but I liked it. But I love that he knew when he saw her.
Mm.
He liked her voice, but when he first saw her, like, no, there's something different here. I'm intrigued. She's not just anybody else. I could see my life. Even she saw with him. Yeah. I love that they knew. Because even with my husband, he's like, I knew. He's like, I think after our first conversation, I knew I wanted to marry you. Like, even though we were 19 years old, but how you talk, no one ever talked to me like that before. Like, you were just totally different. And then he's like, and I knew I wanted to spend the rest of my life with you. I was like, I'm glad you was that vulnerable and open up to that. But most people with society today, like, feel like they have to have timeline, especially adults. Like, we're like, we waited till we got married. We're going next year will be our 15-year wedding anniversary. We've been together for 20 years. And because we was in college, what we gonna do? We could have went been what we wanted. But like as an adult, like you guys should know what you want. It shouldn't take you 500 years to figure out if you want to be with somebody. And it shouldn't be like, oh, I gotta go through all these trials. Why? Because if if a death is in a family, when menopause, having children, those things are gonna happen when it happens. Financial struggles, everybody goes up and down. You can't be waiting till everything happens. Y'all gonna be dead and gone. You have core values that you're looking for in a partner. Someone who's honest or whatever the case may be on your list. But I love that you let it go. Like, no, we don't have to wait 20 years to know that I have a real connection with this person. I want to spend my life with them, and like on both ways. Even though they had a little bit of lack of communication up in there.
Just a little bit. A little bit. They
was going with the flow so much. She started though when she ain't telling me he worked. But then I'm glad she was vulnerable enough and honest with herself enough to be like, you know what, it's not that deep. I could see why he didn't say something because she didn't want to say something because she had a bad experience. So those are all the things I really like, but you could talk about all of them. Like definitely after she found out that hallway situation.
I always wanted to write a scene in like a stairwell, and everything goes back to the beginning. Because my very first blog entry, I think my first words were something about the hardest part is just getting started. And I think it was a Stephen King quote, actually. And then I wrote that I had been a lot of things to a lot of people. And this is without me actually reading my blog posts, but I was like, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an employee, like I have a long list of things that I am. But
Mm-hmm.
like the one thing that is all mine is being a writer. And I knew that I wanted to write all different kinds of stories. And I remember in this blog, I specifically said, like two people like with their voices bouncing off of like stairwell walls or whatever, like hushed voices or something to that effect. And I knew when I started to write this scene, like she's huffing and puffing away from him, like I knew this is going to happen right there in that stairwell. I knew he had to set her straight. Like they needed to get it together. You can't keep going in circles. And I'm someone that's like really low drama when I write. You know, um, I see that if I ever read a review, I usually steer clear of most of them, but every once in a while I read a review and it'll be like low drama to no drama. That's my vibe. I really am not a dramatic person. My daughter would disagree, but when it comes to writing, I keep it simple. I want my people to fall in love, and they may have like a misunderstanding, but like it doesn't need to be world ending. And so I knew like I needed to get them back on track because I wanted them to be together, and they wanted to be together.
Exactly.
As you said, he knew when he saw her, but she also saw her life flash,
Mm-hmm.
in that cup of coffee. Interesting story about that. The my one I think it's my first story, I Am Yours, with Amara and Noah. There is a scene, and I almost wrote that. It was like there's a part of my spirit, my soul, that had to tell it like that, because I was going to do it in I Am Yours, because I wanted to explore gifts like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was afraid, and I backed away. And I never thought I would come back to it. And then I'm writing this scene, not intentionally, because I don't have an outline. I just be writing. And I come back to this scene, and there's a part of me that says, do it, do it. When I did that, I opened myself up to the rest,
Yeah.
because then I realized who she really is, and that she belongs to this family that is filled with gifts. And I was not afraid this time to tell that type of story. But like I in I Am Yours, I didn't know that I was even attempting to tell that type of story. I just knew that it came to me, and something said, "Nah, don't do that. Like, don't do that. That's weird." But in this, it felt right, and it absolutely was right. It was for her. So I guess I'm addressing that part. Trying to think what else you said. The driving. When I was one of my first
The
dates,
first date, y'all. Y'all know the first date, which was cute. But let's talk about this drive-in scene.
one of my first dates was actually at a drive-in. It wasn't my first date, but it was one of my first dates, meaning like I was maybe 17 and up to this point I might have had like 3 or 4 dates, but this was my second date with this particular guy that I was dating, and it was in a drive-in. And yeah, it was nice. But no, it was something, but
That's
it
how
wasn't
high.
that. We
It's
weren't that grown, you know what I mean? So it didn't go, it wasn't all like that, but it was definitely an experience that I had never had before, just because of the whole driving experience.
mm-hmm.
And like people will never know what that's like, because I don't even think they have them anymore, do they?
It's like
There's a
top
few of them.
five. You gotta find them. They're trying to bring them back, which I think would be a cool
That would be cool.
idea.
Because it's a really cool experience, especially when you're with someone you like.
Yeah.
Um,
They were
and
talking about the
you
family
know,
ones now, like they have the big screens and everybody can go and watch movies, which I just think is a cool experience. I loved it. I love how their chemistry off they both felt it right away and they were both vulnerable to, let that lead them, not second guess anything. I
mhm,
love that she wasn't into money. He's a multimillionaire. But I love the balance they brought to each other. Like he didn't even splurge like that.
right.
But she didn't care. But he's like, we both need a trip. Let's do our trip. Even the wedding, and when they finally like got it together, I'm surprised she didn't pop up pregnant. I was like, that's one thing I was looking for. I'm like, they've been doing a lot of doing
Mm, yeah.
without no stuff. And I'm like, when's she gonna be like, you know what? I need to tell her I'm pregnant or something like this. But
I addressed that with them later in the series. So I don't know if you
because they was
yeah.
they was getting popping. Even the sister said, or no, the sister called at the end. She was like, "Yeah, why y'all trying to work on a baby?" Even the friends, it was just. I really did enjoy them. I do like you can always do a spin off and like where they are, but you said in other books. I just thought that it was refreshing. It was a refreshing read, you know,
Mm,
of two people going with the flow, not
mm,
feeling rushed, not, really caring what other people's opinions were. They were just going with how they were feeling for each other.
mm,
And it led them to real love because neither one of them, they both had their careers, neither one was broke. They were just people. And I love the fact that they were willing to compromise for one another.
mm,
It wasn't so stuck in their ways that they couldn't compromise, and that's why I feel like a lot of people fall short. They don't know how to compromise, or they expect the other person to do something that they want them to do instead of just being like maybe they just that's not them or that's not what they want to do. Doesn't change the value. I love that they were allowed each other to be themselves.
I think that the biggest flaw that I see that I observe with people that are couples
Mm-hmm.
is that they don't really investigate what relationship is. And
Mm-hmm.
the relationship is like relate. Relate. Do you relate? Because if you don't relate, then you don't have a relationship. And there's so many people that aren't relating to each other. They like each other, maybe they have great chemistry, which some of these things are part of it all. But like relating is so important. You can communicate all you want, but even if you communicate and you're not relating, then it doesn't matter. You're talking to each other. You're talking, but
Exactly.
you're not understanding. You're not coming to any type of understanding where you can grow, like I mentioned earlier,
Mm-hmm.
because you're not relating. Like relationship is very intentional. It is about you relating to one another. And I think there's a lot of people that are together that aren't relating, and then they can't understand why they're trying so hard, and they feel like it should be working because they have great chemistry, they have great sex, and they got good jobs. And what's getting in the way? Y'all don't relate to each other. And that isn't a flaw. It's not a flaw. It just is what it is. You're
Mm-hmm.
not meant to be with everybody just
No,
because.
you're
You
right.
know,
I always
it's
tell
like a
people too.
puzzle piece.
I say intimacy. I said intimacy means into me.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And you have to be into me, not foreplay. Not no. You need to be into the person that I am. Like I need to be into the person that you are. Like
Right.
you said, that's also back to relating. If
Mhm.
I know who you are and I understand you, and I'm really invested in you, then most of these problems won't happen. The point is, a
Mhm.
lot of people in relationship are selfish instead of
Yeah.
selfless.
Yeah.
You want everything that you want, and like, everybody likes people like I was like, you always get what you want. I said, yeah, because I work hard. I'm a determined person. I
Mhm.
have patience. I can wait. If I say I want something, I will wait to get exactly what I want. I'm not going.
Mhm.
I don't like if I don't do sugar coat and I don't want the off brand. I want what I want, and I'm patient for that.
Mhm.
But I will do. I'm not above working. You know what I mean? I haven't been
Right.
like you. I'm employed. I'll work 2 or 3 jobs. I'll run my business. I run my kids. I'm not above anything. I said most people are lazy.
Mhm.
And even your relationship is a partnership, but a partnership it's also it requires time,
Mhm.
energy. You can't be lazy after any type of promotion, from girlfriend to fiance to wife to mom,
Mhm.
or work, like in life, from employee to supervisor to manager to boss, is
Right.
work. And people have to be willing to do it. And also
Mhm.
like communication, even with him, when he sensed that she was off,
Mhm.
he knew how to communicate
Right.
her. Like, oh, we never been, let me let her know that she's the only one for me, like at the concert. Even at the end, when they were doing, when she was like, when he told her that he loved her and she froze. And then he saw her at the meeting. I love how he played that. Like, I loved every bit of it. I said, okay, cause I love how he played it. Oh no, Mr. So and so, now because she called him Mr. And then how he called into the podcast. Oh, you single? Oh, bet. Go look at the Max thing. She's crying. Oh, then the friends like, yo, just go look at it. Then
Right.
she matched with him, and he had to do, like, you, that whole scene.
Yeah. Thank you.
I loved every bit of it. I'm like, oh, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, girl, I love that scene. That's like one of my favorite scenes. And it was no, but it just thought out. She's like, no, because you're supposed to be like, and she was so emotional, like most of us women, like,
Mhm.
I want. He goes, I know you want me. I know you love me. Open the door.
Mhm. Mhm.
I loved it. Like it was just perfect because he knew her. You know what I'm saying? He understood her emotionality. Not that she's too emotional. Like he understood her. He took the time to relate to her. He took the
Mhm.
time to be into her.
Mhm.
And sometimes it just takes time to give her a second. You know what I mean? Let's play around, but know how to play around. Like he
Right.
knew how to set it up. He didn't go way drag. He didn't wait 20 years. It was the same day where all this stuff was going down. And it
Yeah.
was just like, what had her thinking, like, he didn't call me. Aja, like that honestly was like I think my favorite scene in the whole, like I just how it
Yeah.
all played out. Besides about like different things, but that scene will stay with me for like forever. Like I love that.
Your excitement about it and just like going over it again just brings all the feelings back for me from when I was writing it. I really enjoyed writing their story. I enjoyed the entire series. I mean, it's for me, it's very personal.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's my story, but there's a lot of my heart in it. And it's a lot of um just the way I see the world and the way that I love women and our experiences and wanting to heal and wanting to understand one another, wanting to, like you said, not judge one another, but to free ourselves from all of those things that like get us down and make us feel shame. Like we got to let those things go.
We do.
There's not a perfect anything. You just continue to improve and be the best person that you can be the best woman that you can be. But most of all, love.
Exactly.
Learn how to love yourself and then love the one that was given to you. And I think that in She's Got Soul, I start off a beautiful series with a beautiful couple. And you see a lot of them, you see them in other stories. So, like Khalil is in, I think he's in Mr. Big Stuff, for instance.
That right back there. You see him on there.
Mm,
You signed it. Wait, hold up.
oh,
You got like 30 seconds before you
oh,
kick me out. So y'all better read. Tell everybody where they can find you at because I don't want you saying I didn't end you right because you gotta watch your game. So
yeah, I do, and hopefully we win. Um,
tell
you
everybody
can
where they can follow you, what you got going on, all that good stuff, so we could continue to support.
Thank you. You can find me on social media at Aja the Writer, AJATHEWRITER. And what I have going on is trying to finish the Lover series. And when I say finish, I mean to continue because it's one of my favorite series. It's a good palate cleanser for me, especially because I've been in the world of the Enigma and that world does at times, it gets heavy. There's a lot of heavier themes, with the exception to the Enigma affairs. But yeah, it's just love, and they're trope filled. They're very sexy. Just beautiful stories for me. So I've been enjoying that, and I do have some other series coming in the pipeline. A lot of the books that I have already out, the Enigma series, the origin stories, all of the Enigma Affair books that will be coming out, all of the Lover series will all be coming in audio. So if you're an audiophile and you're wondering like when am I going to be able to listen to these, they'll all be coming out in audio. I guess that's it for now. If you are if you travel and you go to book events, you can catch me at the Black Romance Book Fest next year, and somewhere else. Oh,
Where's that,
One Love
DC?
Reunion.
Where's that one at?
The Black Romance Book Fest is in Atlanta.
Okay.
The One Love Reunion is in New Orleans, and I'll be at Raw, which I don't forget what the Raw stands for. RRAW. But that'll be in Peoria, Illinois, and that's in October, I think it is. I have to look at what the details are of that one, but so that's where I'm at next year so far. And I really love to meet my readers. I'll sign all the books. Like if you bought my books on other platforms, it's okay, bring it to me. I hope you do buy something else, just because I'm always coming out with something, but there's no pressure. So I really enjoy talking to my readers. I enjoyed talking to you. It was just a wonderful time. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Thank
I'm
you.
happy that you enjoyed She's Got Soul.
I
That
just
means a
I,
lot to
I
me.
just finished that other series too, the weekend or something. The one I just dropped. That was an
Yeah.
interesting next book. We can't talk about because you got a game, but that last one, I was like, okay, with the pool table and all that good freaking stuff. I was like, interesting, interesting. I see you, I see you.
Yeah.
But I honestly want to say thank you so much for coming on here. I would love to have you back. I definitely two things. I need you to send me your catalog because I was looking for it.
Okay.
I like to read stuff like in order. And let me know when you put my series out so I could be like, yes.
I will.
It's a pleasure. I will continue to read your work because I just genuinely enjoy it. I will be probably done with this one hopefully between now and my school stuff within the next 2 weeks of series because I'm enjoying it. I enjoy you. I appreciate you. And I do hope you guys win. I'm not a hater. I just like to, I'm a Ravens fan, so I gotta talk junk to the Steelers fan. Because we need Lamar back, but that's neither here or there.
Y'all happen to manage. Y'all got to win today. I was
Thank the Lord.
right.
This came through for real.
My husband's a Bears fan, so not thank the Lord in this household, but he's from Chicago, so that's his team. And he thought it was
And
going to be a better game.
you had to take that L. We needed this one. We needed this one.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
we was on life support, so we needed this one. But thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. And I will definitely keep in contact because I like to read and I just want you to send me your catalog and I'll share it on the book page and enjoy your game tonight.
Thank you. Oh, and don't forget, I am going to give away a signed paperback copy of one of the Lover series books. Not the I haven't ordered any of the scratch, so I won't commit to that since I'm in the middle of a move. But if you wanted to do some sort of giveaway, don't hesitate to do it. You could choose from someone that, comments or whatever, however you want to do it.
Yeah, whoever
And
comments.
and then also send me your mailing address as well, and I'll send something your way. Okay.
Okay, definitely we're gonna do something. Somebody, you know what? Y'all gonna tell me what's your best scene or something. I gotta make sure y'all read the book. We don't here trying to get free books. You didn't even support this book. Come on,
Right.
y'all. We're here to support our lovely Black authors. They're independent. That means we help them to continue to write, to continue to put their work out there. That's the whole point of the podcast. Y'all know that we're all readers. Let's support. And if everybody who wants to be entered into this giveaway, you need to comment below because then I know you saw that we're giving.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I truly enjoyed you.
I enjoyed you as well. You have a good night, and we're gonna win.
So, good luck tonight.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys. Look at me
Do you work too much, constantly on the go, miss hanging out with friends, family, or even yourself? Do you ever feel like you need an escape? Whitney's Escapes is here to help with just that. We specialize in family travel, autism travel, group trips, vacations, staycations, and more. So when you're ready for your next escape, make sure you contact us at whitneysescapes.com. Follow us on social media at Whitney's Escapes as well. Whitney's Escapes, where your dreams become your reality.